Hi, my name is Frank White, and welcome to another episode of Photography Tips and Reviews. Now, most of you guys know I'm from North Carolina, so let me throw a little southern accent in there. Hi, my name is Frank White, and welcome to another episode of Photography Tips and Reviews. You like that, didn't you? All right. Well, today I am here because I want to talk about the 5D Mark IV, which is set to be released or is rumored to be released in about 72 hours. That's 72, not 72, but in any case, in about 2 days. Today is Today is August 23rd, 16, and this camera is rumored to be released in on August 25th, 16. So what I really want to talk about is what I would like to see in the body. But before I get started with what I'd like to see in the body, I actually want to mention what's already there. Now, I've got some notes that I'm kind of going to go over. The 5D Mark IV is going to feature a 30.4 megapixel sensor, which is awesome. So I'm assuming that with that sensor, we should be able to really pull some detail out of the shadows and really work with our highlights. It should give us some of that dynamic range that we've been salivating for, been just craving for. It's going to have 7 frames per second as opposed to 6 frames per second, which is where I think the 5D Mark III is at. And it's going to have the Digi6 Plus processor, which for the dual pixel system on the autofocusing system, it's really going to use that processor. Now, I wish that it had a dual processor. I wish that it had dual processors like the 1DX does, but if it did, then I guess it would be priced similar to the 1DX. The LCD should be roughly about the same as the 5D Mark III, which is 3.2 inches. And now, I am a little disappointed in the autofocusing system. Well, there's some things about the autofocusing system that is awesome. In fact, almost groundbreaking. But what I am disappointed to hear is that it's only going to have 61 autofocus points, which is where the 5D Mark III is, and the 5D Mark III, as you know, as awesome as its autofocusing system is, it is a little clustered. I'm hoping that the 5D Mark IV will have the autofocusing system more spread out. Now, bear in mind that all of these are rumors. One thing that really is awesome about the 5D Mark IV, or at least is rumored, is that it will have a -3 EV, E as in Edward, V as in Victor, exposure value. So that means that it's actually going to be similar to the 6D in that it will be able to grab focus in low light situations, and in live view it's going to be able to grab focus as low as -4 EV. So kudos, Canon. It's going to have 4K, as you can imagine. And I'm hoping that all of Canon's cameras going forward will feature the 4K autofocus, the 4K recording. In addition to 4K recording, it's going to have an 8.8 megabyte 4K picture grab. So if you're shooting in 4K, you should be able to grab a still out of that that should have a fair amount of detail in it. 8.8 megapixels. Did I say megapixels at first? Anyway, it's going to have a 8.8 MP, a megapixel screen grab, which is pretty cool. Also, as you can imagine, it's going to have the GPS, the Wi-Fi, and near field communications. So it's going to be an awesome landscape camera. It's going to support geotagging. It's going to be a really well-rounded camera. Now, bear in mind, all of these are rumors, but at this late date in the game, I suspect that these rumors have been leaked. So even though they're rumors at this point, I do place a lot of confidence in them. It's going to have USB 3.0, and it's going to weigh 1.96 pounds or 890 grams. Another thing that it's going to support is it's going to support built-in time lapse and an intervalometer, which is really cool. But I'm going to go back to the autofocusing system really quickly. It's going to have something called dual pixel RAW. Now, what dual pixel RAW is the ability to record one normal RAW file while at the same time record another dual pixel RAW file. Until I learn a little bit more about that, then what I understand that means is that it's going to give us some ability to fix some things in post-processing that we may not be able to fix now. For instance, let's say you miss focus by just a teeny little bit. You might be able to actually recover that in post, along with bokeh shift to change the position of the previous blur, that kind of stuff, and we'll be able to reduce ghosting and flaring in post. So those are some of the kinds of things that dual pixel RAW ought to give us. And I actually preface that as being part of the autofocusing system. Doesn't sound like it. Sound like it's more of a format thing. But when I think of dual pixel, the first thing that I think of is focusing. So there you go, guys. That's what's in this camera. Now, like I said, this is going to be an awesome camera. And while I won't be one of the first to get my hands on it, I can't wait to actually get it in my arsenal. Now, what is it that I want to see in this camera? That's what I really want to talk about. So I'm just going to spend a brief moment on that. One of the, first and foremost, the main thing that I would have really liked to see on the 5D Mark IV is that articulating screen. Now, with that articulating screen, I have that articulating screen on my Rebel. Many of you know that I shoot with a Rebel T4i that I bought a few years back, and I just adore that screen. When I'm out, I can hold that camera up to grab a picture over the crowd, swing that screen down so I can see what I'm shooting. I can shoot low without having to get on the ground. And for videos, right now I'm actually looking at my T4i. I got my screen out so I can see me waving at you guys. Hello. Hope you guys doing okay. But anyway, so that articulating screen would have been awesome. As it stands, looks like for any serious video filmmaker type people, you're still going to have to invest in an external monitor. Now, even as awesome as the flip out screens are, or the back of the screen on these DSLRs, they're still not as good as the external monitors anyway. So articulating or not, an external monitor still would be a good investment. The other thing that I would love to see on the 5D Mark IV is backlights, lights on the back of it that eliminate the controls. Now I know that Nikon has introduced a camera with lights on the back of it so that you can actually see the controls in the back of the camera. And with that -3 EV and -4 EV in live view, then that would have dovetailed really well. But be as it may, it is what it is, and perhaps in the Canon 5D Mark V or whatever camera be the successor to the 5D Mark IV, we'll start seeing those types of features. The reason I believe that these features won't be in the next release is because at this date in the game, this camera is in the hands of countless beta testers, and that's not one of the features that has been rumored or leaked. So my question to you is, what would you like to see on the 5D Mark IV? Leave them in the comments below. I guess that kind of wraps it up for me for this episode. If you like this episode, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Become a part of this growing community of photographers. And if you have any questions or comments other than, then leave those below also. If you're going to shoot anybody today, shoot them with a Canon or a camera of your choice, and remember, keep shooting no matter what.